Hey everybody. Um, First and foremost, I want to share this picture that I took from a friend's Facebook feed. Now the picture is of Kane Avenue Baptist Church in 1958. There's an area I know pretty well. My father's business is right across the street. My father also used to be a member of Kane Avenue Baptist Church. So I know this area pretty well. And the picture is showing flooding that occurred down in 1958 down in that section of Camden. And so um, one of the things that I've seen kind of going around that I've caught my Facebook feed is people, um, you know, basically saying, well, these floods in Camden have been going on for a long time. Why are people complaining about the mayor with regards to the flood and the flooding situation? Now, even though I posted a video about the floods yesterday, I know that what people are talking about has nothing to do with the post that I made. So I don't want to get in this thing where people think I'm directly responding to somebody that might be a mutual friend that was, saying, hey, we should stop complaining about the mayor or pick up the trash or whatever the case may be. But one of the things that I did want to talk about is like when it comes to Camden people and talking about some of the situations that we face in the city, I had to grow to have a lot of grace for my people in this community. I had to grow to have a lot of grace. Just to give you a little background, um, most of the things that go on in Camden, I've been following for close to 40 years. So, and I'm 50, so I've been following these things since I was a kid, reading the newspaper. I had different family members that were really engaged in what was going on politically in the city. So, and I grew up around that. So, I've always been kind of paying attention to that sort of thing. And so, when people, rightfully or wrongfully, when regular residents, rightfully or wrongfully, start pointing fingers at the mayor and different people in political positions in Camden, I give them grace because I know that there have been a lot of systematic institutions that have been stripped down in Camden that were there to equip people in Camden to really understand how the city works a lot better and to make better demands on our political figures. So when people are out there complaining about the mayor, even if they're wrong or even if they don't know what they're talking about, I have to give them some grace because I know that they are part of a community where anything designed to educate them or to allow them to engage in the political process and make demands on our political structure have been torn down specifically to not allow our people to engage in that way. So when you see people who are in position or they're trying to make their way to positions where um, they are critical of the people that are critical of our government, you always have to like be careful around those folks because I feel like when it rains or floods in Camden, you have a criticism of the mayor and the systems that are in place to kind of deal with these floods, and people are criticizing you for saying something about the mayor and not criticizing the mayor for taking advantage of these systems to help make our city better, I think there's a problem there. And, with that being said, I will also say the people that are saying, oh, well, this has been going on for a long time, we shouldn't be criticizing the mayor, I would also argue that those people have no idea what they're talking about in terms of how city government works, what the mayor is supposed to do, and what some of these officials are supposed to do in regards to like things like flooding in the city of Camden. So first and foremost, let me just lay some things out. And whenever I speak, I'm speaking from a place of things that are verifiable. I'm speaking from a place where you don't have to trust me because I am a personality that you like. You can go look these things up on your own and figure them out. That's another one of my pet peeves in Camden. We tend to be so personality focused that we don't criticize the systems that are going on because we like the personality that is running that system. And what I'm telling you is the mayor, city council, all those people, you can like them, you can let them kiss your baby and all those sorts of things, but that has nothing to do with the fact that they are running systems that are here and they're running institutions that are here to serve and protect you, a resident. So let me get back to what I was originally talking about with this flooding in the city of Camden and this picture that was a picture taken down at Kane Avenue. All right, first off, again, my father's business is at that intersection. And so, yes, there is extreme flooding down there. Every time it rains, he gets flooding in the basement of his business. All right, fine. Now, understand something. That part of Camden is what is considered an urban enterprise zone, which means it's supposed to have access to special funding and all these special programs to basically attract businesses to that corridor of the city of Camden. So understand when you say, hey, why are y'all blaming the mayor for this flooding that's going down there? Understand on the other side of that, there is policies and programs in place to promote that portion of the city as a place to bring a business. So, like, flooding is a problem that should be addressed by our politicians. I mean, think about it. Basically, what they are essentially doing is they're trying to engage people into setting up shop in this special corridor in Camden that historically floods. Everybody knows it historically floods. And we also know that there has been no politicians since the 50s that have addressed this. So what do you think the likelihood is of, somebody bringing an enterprise or business to that section of Camden knowing that it floods and that it may render a portion of your building structurally or just, unusable. And so, people are talking out of both sides of their mouth. And these are the sorts of things that I have a problem with because they will take your love for them as a personality, or they will take your love for the mayor as a personality, and they'll throw out all these things that'll make you turn your brain off to the fact that, well, no, they're supposed to have some sort of fix for this. That's the whole point of why we elect mayors and city council and all that sort of thing. It's not for people to just kiss babies and do all these ceremonial things, rename streets and all that sort of stuff. It is to solve some of the historic problems of the city of Camden. And so I'm getting a little agitated because it irritates me because in not holding the mayor accountable, the system or the institution of the Democratic county committee that basically does all the political things in Camden, they are basically using the good credibility of people in our community that we like to basically not do anything for us. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. And okay, like the mayor may not have a plan or can't do a plan on his own to fix the flooding. I get that. But I mean, there's a lot of basic stuff the mayor isn't doing when it comes to this stuff. Like when you go to the City of Camden website, there's no messaging on there about the flooding, what residents can do. I mean, go to the communications page on the City of Camden website. Go to the constituent services section. Go to the mayor section. There is no statement about the flooding whatsoever. There's nothing like when people's houses flood, a lot of times they got to throw a lot of stuff out. You know, they got bulk trash that they need. At the very least, the city could put a message up like, hey, if we know these areas were impacted by massive flooding in the city of Camden. On these days, we are scheduling bulk pickup for those areas if you had things that are damaged that we need to haul away. We will offer expedited trash haul away or trash pickup for the people that call us that are living in these impacted areas. These are the things that you do when you run a city and you run an institution that is supposed to be protecting people. I'm not saying that, this mayor or this administration has the fix for the flooding, but they're not even doing the bare minimum in terms of communicating things to residents in regards to when we have these sorts of disasters. So I'm here this Sunday begging us to have grace for the residents that might be complaining about this mayor and his administration and the politicians that are not really and have historically not addressed this issue, because from an institutional standpoint, everything that would help us identify how we're supposed to negotiate these things in our community has been torn down. So I don't hold the regular city resident accountable for that. But if you're in a position of power, if you've been elected in any seat of government in the city of Camden, I'm talking about from the Camden Committee, the City Council, to the mayor's office, to the zoning boards or the ABC board or whatever, I feel like you have a duty to help people understand how they're supposed to engage in the city to get better services. It's not the time to tear people down because they didn't know what office to go to. And it's also very telling when we have some of those criticisms that we're oftentimes exposing that they don't know how these things get fixed or these things get addressed. So they're on one hand criticizing you for not knowing, but in criticizing you for not knowing, they're also exposing that they don't know as well. But again, it's Sunday, and I'm promoting grace on this Sunday. So yes, it may seem like I'm a little animated, but hey, the same grace that I have for residents, I have to have for our political officials, provided they come around and start acting like they're here to protect us and to serve this community and not just promote themselves or chastise residents for having a feeling or opinion on something. So there it is.